Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to review or give my thoughts on the Avatar Way of the Water teaser. Now, for those of us who went to go see the Doctor Strange movie, which is pretty much most of us, if you're watching my videos, you probably went to go see it, you know that this trailer was exclusively being released at, in the theaters. This is one of the first times in a long time that a trailer had been exclusively a theater thing. Now they released it yesterday. Was it yesterday or today? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Is it yesterday or today? Can't remember. It was Monday or Tuesday. Just put it that way. Now they released it this week, but you know they wanted to give the people that experience. It was a very unique experience. Now people who went to like CinemaCon saw it, but for people who went to go see Doctor Strange, you were treated with something that you can't find, you couldn't find anywhere else. And even if you would have looked it up, it would have been a very blurry, you know, trailer video. Very, very blurry. And, you know, honestly, that trailer is something you need to see on the big screen anyways, because it's really cool. It's really cool looking. The visual stylings look great. So, you know, so we've seen this, but they just came out with it, and now I could talk about it. Now, let's talk about it. Now, I'm going to start up top just getting this out of the way. I think that the first Avatar is a good this is what the first Avatar is to me. The first Avatar is a mediocre sci-fi movie elevated by groundbreaking technology. And when you account all of it together, you know, when you account the groundbreaking technology together, it kind of offsets a lot of the mediocrity of the story. Because to me personally, I've always thought that Avatar was overrated. I always thought the original Avatar movie was a bit overrated. And just like I made my video years ago about The Dark Knight, and just like I made my video about the Joker, just because I think something's overrated doesn't mean I think that it's bad. And like, you know, when you put that word out there, people immediately assume you're saying that it's bad. I don't think that it's bad. I just don't think that the story, the actual meat of the characters and whatnot, I don't think they were very interesting. I don't think the main protagonist was very interesting. I do think it was just Ferngully or Dances with Wolves. It was something that you've seen a billion times, especially, it's something you've seen a billion times, the white character, the white savior trope. And it was like, and you know, there's been a lot made of that trope, you know, in many different things, Iron Fist and, you know, things of that nature. And usually I'm not the type of guy to point those kind of things out. But it was what it was. This was the white savior trope. This, you know, random white dude came down, became, you know, saved the indigenous people. Not only did he save the indigenous people, he married into the indigenous people. He became a huge leader of the indigenous people, and he fought against the bad, you know, corporate people. Like everything about this movie is so surface. And like, I don't mind surface, but there aren't many memorable, other than Sigourney Weaver's character and Zoe Saldana's character. Most of the other characters in that movie weren't very memorable. I mean, Nathan Lang was memorable because he was really playing a very aggressive military man villain. But like, most people don't like. That's the thing about this movie. It's one of the things about the movie that I find funny, because I question people on this. Most people don't remember any of the characters' names from this movie. Most people don't. Like, just plain and simple. Most people think of this movie as the Blue Cats movie. Like, this movie's claim to fame. And like, to this day, it still bothers me. To this day, and you know, maybe my beef with this movie, like my with this movie, has only grown since Endgame came out. Because not only did they re-release it so that it took the title of top movie from Endgame, but also, this Endgame is better than this movie, yet this movie got nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars and Endgame didn't. And I remember even thinking to myself at the time, I was like, wait a minute, time out. So if from a movie telling story perspective, Endgame is much better than Avatar. Now, Avatar might have Endgame in the big special effects, because the special effects were groundbreaking, which I'm like, okay, maybe that's what you gotta do, is do something so groundbreaking that the rest of it is just smoothed over. But you know what? I'm not going to go on this rant about it. That's how I feel about the original Avatar. I think it's a mediocre sci-fi movie that is elevated by groundbreaking, amazing, CGI and special effects that were so ahead of were ahead of the time at the time, that pushed 3D as far as it can go. And admittedly, I'm talking all this shit about it, but I can tell you for a certain, one of the best theatrical experiences I've ever had was going to see Avatar in 3D with my friends. That was one of the best theatrical experiences that I've ever had. But one of the most biggest wake-up calls that I ever had was then watching Avatar at home on a regular TV and being like, without the spectacle and the CGI, now that I've seen the movie, man, the story ain't really all that. The story ain't really all that. None of these characters are really all that. But okay, whatever. I digress. So that's my perspective going into this movie. Now on top it off, it has been 13 years since the first Avatar movie came out. And the situation with that first Avatar was a unique situation. Because considering it's the biggest movie of all time, second one, 1, 2, 1 big, 1A is the Avengers and that were just battle. But considering it's the biggest movie of all time, it's crazy to think, but at the time that movie came out, it did not have a major big opening weekend. I don't even know if that movie made over $100 million its opening weekend. It may have. I don't think so. But it wasn't like one of the biggest opening weekends of the year or anything. It wasn't like this big, like in comparison to some of the shit Marvel's been doing lately, in comparison to just Doctor Strange, it wasn't that big. But it was consistency. And just to give you some Hollywood lingo, some film lingo, usually a typical blockbuster, like a big CGI blockbuster, has a drop-off rate of the next weekend in the mid-50s. In the mid-50s, if you're in the late 40s, God forbid, early 40s, you're doing something great. That rarely happens. It never really happens like that. Most of the time, these big movies, Endgame stuff, they drop like 58%, sometimes 60%. But they made so much money that weekend that it's already made up. Like Endgame made $1.2 billion. So when Endgame dropped, when Endgame dropped 60% the next weekend, it was like, dude, 60% of 1.2 bill is still a shit ton of money. You know what I mean? So, it just depends on where you're dropping. And a lot of times, the smaller the movie, the less the drop is, because people will hear, especially if it's a small good movie, because people will hear something, then people will go out and see it, and it's like a smaller little window. Well, Avatar had a unique circumstance. First of all, it came out unopposed. There was nothing else coming out around Avatar. Because back in 2009, big blockbusters weren't what they are now. The superhero genre, it wasn't what it is now. Iron Man had just come out. The Avengers was not a thing yet. The Dark Knight trilogy was just I think The Dark Knight was just coming out, or it had come out, just came out. Christopher Nolan was still still in the hay of doing the Dark Knight trilogy. Nothing had happened yet. And there wasn't a lot of big CGI blockbusters to come out against this movie, or at least the ones that did were spaced out very far apart. And Avatar had 2 months, it had 2-3 months of being completely unimposed, nothing coming out against it. And its drop rating was insane. Avatar was dropping 10%, 15%, 20%. Numbers never heard, percentage droppages that have never been heard of, because people were talking about it. People were like, this is a unique experience. You guys got to see it. It was being seen in 3D more than any other film ever put out, basically. So it was even extra. Avatar had even extra money going into it. It had a bit of extra money that most other blockbusters, including Endgame, never had, because the 3D element. Because 3D tickets were much more than just a regular ticket, so there was extra money going into it. So it was crazy. The circumstances that led to Avatar being the biggest film of all time will never be replicated. The only chance it has is to be a huge like Marvel Like, I'm talking, they would have to make like $300 million opening weekend to even think, to even dream of beating Endgame. To even dream of even touching the original Avatar. So, like, that ain't gonna happen. But I digress. The trailer itself, the teaser itself, I just went on 10 minutes talking about the movie, talking about Avatar itself. It's just because the movie hasn't been talked about in so long, I felt like I needed to give you guys that. But the teaser itself is a teaser. It doesn't really say anything. But, I mean, clearly, there's a normal boy there for some reason. You know, now they're in the water. Like, we didn't see the water in the first movie, we were just in the forest. So now they're near the water. Clearly, the Earth hasn't given up on getting that rare mineral. I literally think the mineral in that Earth is called unobtainium. But whatever. They don't get, James Cameron doesn't get paid to come up with good names. Throw stones, but not paid to come up with good names. You know, and there was not much else to take from it. Beautiful CGI, as you expected, looks amazing. The water stuff looks amazing too. The movie looks amazing. But the problem with that, like I said, it's gonna be the same exact thing, and I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be the same exact thing. It's gonna be a very okay story that benefits from having this insanely great CGI. But the thing is, the climate is different now. Avatar isn't gonna go unopposed, even though, ironically, the biggest competition to Avatar is Disney's movies, and they're all owned by the same people. And like Avatar and Star Wars are supposed to trade off December dates. But anyways, you know, I thought the trailer was okay. I thought it did, you know, the teaser did what it's supposed to do. I'm just not looking forward to this. I'm just not hyped for this. I'm not looking forward to this. And honestly, like, I was never the biggest fan of the first movie. Maybe if I was a huge fan of the first movie, you know, maybe if like, you know, like, there are plenty of movies like that. If I heard they were making sequels to them, I'd be like, oh, what? Like, if fucking Brendan Fraser just came walking down with Rachel Weisz and they were like, oh yeah, we're doing a sequel. We're doing a sequel to The Mummy. I'd be like, oh, what? Fuck out. Like, you know, that's just me, because I like those characters. I like that. I like those. Well, those two. The two. I don't know about the last one, but the first two I liked. But so, you know, it's just like one of those things where it's just like I'm not the biggest fan of that original Avatar. I haven't watched that movie since 2009. Haven't seen it since. Never felt the need to. Never felt the need to. Never felt the want to. It's never even crossed my fucking mind. I haven't thought about Avatar. The only last time I thought about Avatar was when Avengers Endgame came out, and that was just because Avengers Endgame was gonna beat it. That was it. But other than that, I rarely think about it. Honestly, I debated making a video talking about how overrated it is, but so many people have already said what I pretty much said, many of the things I already think about it. But I might make a video focusing more on how overrated I think it is, but you never know. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and what did you think of the Avatar Way of the Water teaser? Are you excited about it, or are you like me? I really don't care. I'm gonna go see the movie because I can already tell you from a technical standpoint, which I like to separate I like to separate the technical things from my actual feelings on the story and plot. I said that before. I did that with the Joker. I gave the Joker a 7. Even though I had all those complaints, I made a video saying it's overrated, I still gave it a 7 out of 10. Because from a technical perspective, it was still great. And from a technical perspective, Avatar is probably going to be great. So it should have a slam dunk 7. And whatever happens after that, maybe it can go up higher. But anyways, thank you guys again for joining my Comic Game Show. I'm sorry. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show again. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.